Hello everyone and welcome back to our emergency procedures in the Boeing 737. We are currently holding short of runway 34 in St. John's, and we are first going to experience a engine failure. So let's set our engine 1 to severe damage. Let's arm it for in 2 minutes it will fail, and let's execute that. Everything is set up, all of our lights are turned on, and our autopilot is set, so let's taxi into position for departure on runway 34. Okay, so set flaps first, and start, and put 100% throttles. Don't worry about that alarm, that'll go off now in a second. Positive rate gear up. So set our autopilot to climb to 4,000 feet and select our heading. Let's see, flaps 2. And flap 0. Oh, engine number 1 has failed. So autopilot is disconnected, so let's re-engage that. Auto throttle has now come off, and let's continue to climb to 4,000 feet. So the engine has failed, so let's shut that down. Let's bring engine 1 to idle. Let's turn off the fuel flow and engage our fire, just in case the engine does catch on fire. Let's turn off our engine 1 generator and continue to climb to 4,000 feet. So let's go through our engine failure checklist. So let's reduce the climb to 1,000 feet per minute, which is max bank angle will now be 15 degrees and turns, and our flaps are up. So let's return to land on runway 34 at St. John's. So let's sit on the arrival for 34, and that'll just be 8 miles, 5, and there. Let's bring this into our legs, and we can now turn on our LNAV. Okay, so we are now coming back to runway 34, and let's slow down to try and keep under 250 knots. So in this situation we would now contact air traffic control, and if our call sign was WestJet 255, we would say Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. WestJet 255, WestJet 255, WestJet 255 has experienced an engine failure departing runway 34 at St. John's, requesting to return to runway 34 to land. So at that point we would be given directions to return to runway 34 to land. But as you can see, there's not really any big problems now with a single engine failure, because we can rely on one engine to help us to return to St. John's. So let's try and keep around 250 knots. And let's turn on our cross fuel feed here, so that all the engine is not going into, all the fuel is going to engine number 2 instead of engine 1. So at this point we could attempt to restart the engine, but we do not know what caused it to fail, so that could cause a fire if there is any problems with the electric systems of the engine. So, and we can just sustain on one engine, so that's why we do not choose to restart it. And at this point too, we would squawk 7700 in our transponder, which declares an emergency. So we're heading direct to our waypoint, which will put us on final for runway 34. Engine 1 is idle, and we are currently keeping about 230 knots. So at this point we can slow down and set flaps 1. Set our approach speed for 137 knots. And we do not need to add 5 for the wind. So let's slow down even more now and set our auto brake to max. Let's descend down to 2,500 feet. Or 3,000 feet rather, because that is the constraint on the waypoint, which will put us on final for runway 34. So let's reduce our throttle, make sure engine 1 is kept to idle, and descend down at no more than 1,000 feet per minute. So for a single engine landing, we have to use our rudder to compensate for the lack of power on the left side of the aircraft. We will be using flaps full, and we have to stay on or above the glide path, because once you go under, it is pretty much impossible to climb back up. We're setting auto brake to full, and we will be not using our thrust reversers on rollout after landing. And we will proceed as if it's a normal landing. So there's the airport now to our right, and we will now be holding 3,000 feet. All of our lights are turned on, and let's alert the cabin so they know to prepare for landing. So if this time there was another failure, let's choose something else to fail. We will... What will we fail? Let's fail our... Okay, let's fail our battery. So let's arm that, and that'll take place in about 30 seconds. And execute. So if our main battery is failed, we will lose pretty much all electronics. So let's set flaps 2 and try and keep around 190 knots. So the battery should fail now any moment. And let's increase our throttle to keep around 180 knots. Let's hold 3,000 feet. Let's set flaps down another. And our battery should have failed by now. But it did not. Oh, yes it did. Okay, our battery has failed. So that didn't really make that big of a difference, so let's fail our... Let's set a fire in our cargo, our forward cargo. So set that for 20 seconds and execute that. We're losing a lot of frames now, and let's speed up because our speed is dropping quite a bit. Oh, there's our fire, so we have to try and put out the fire somehow. So let's press this, and let's turn off that. We'll be landing now, so let's slow down even more and set our next stage of flaps and put our landing gear down. Okay, so let's just start to descend down at 500 feet per minute. Set our altimeter. And our gear is down and locked by the 3 green. So let's now fail. Let's fail our flight instruments. Let's choose this one here. And let's activate that and fail that one. So our upper is gone, so let's fail our left. That is gone. Okay, so we've now lost 2 instruments. And we want to now slow down while we descend. 700 feet per minute. And let's drop down flaps 30. Flaps 40. So our map is now gone and we have no navigation. So once we pass this cloud here, I will take control and land. Bring back our throttle, try and keep around 140 knots.
Radio altimeter.
So I'm taking control, we have the runway now. Landing gear is down, auto brake is set to max. So we're off to the left here because of that lack of power on the left side. Let's bring our throttle back even more. Set our altimeter. We are a little high, but we can descend down. Now the plane is moving to the left by a lot, so let's use our rudder. Bring back up our throttle. And we're gonna have to do a move called crabbing, which the plane is going to be coming in at an angle to the runway. So let's use our rudder to try and keep it straight. Make sure not to go low because low is never good. So we are a little high, which is perfect because we don't want to be too low.
300.
Let's push in that rudder now, so that will keep us straight.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
straighten. And throttle set to idle. Feet, and there we go, we're on the ground. So set our brakes, speed brake up, we cannot reverse our engines. And speed brake is retracted and flaps are now set to 0. So we have landed back in St. John's on runway 34 after an engine failure, a cargo fire, and 2 instrument failures. So tune in next time for a few more failures, not sure which ones yet, but make sure you check that out. So thank you for watching and tune in next time.